see if FlyQuest can make that run.
I mean, a perfect example to me of kind of one of the struggles that they have been having with this is simply last week against TSM. Flame, you know, they saved the last pick, counter pick for him. He's not willing to actually blind pick a Gnar and play that into the Camille. He ends up, you know, as a last pick, picking a Cho'Gath right into the Camille matchup and still kind of ending up on the worst end of those trades against Hauntzer. So you know, when you are giving pick priority to someone in the draft, they need to be flexible enough to really take advantage of it. Otherwise, you are kind of misallocating or wasting those resources.
So let's see where those resources go in this game, and if another week, another stretch of time on 8.4 has let these teams learn even more about how they want to play this style. Another game in a row with a blue side Olaf plus Kha'Zix ban. They're trying to remove aggressive options off ReignOver. Of course, Kha'Zix can cheat vision rules quite a lot, which tends to play to ReignOver's wheelhouse, even if you don't consider him normally much of an assassin player. The Olaf, of course, definitely very much champion he plays. So there's the first pick, Xayah, and we'll see if CLG is willing to try to take away Rakan to make that dual lane weaker, or to simply survive it some other way. They're going to grab Caitlyn as a match, and Sejuani as the blind jungler. Seems to be cream of the crop when Skarner, Olaf, and Kha'Zix are off the table. Yeah,
I really don't like picking away the Rakan. I feel like if you've given up the Xayah, you almost just have to accept that. We did see Golden Guardians last week trying to do that with Matt, and despite the fact that they broke up the duo, the Rakan was pretty ineffective on its own. So, you know, whereas the Xayah still can function, I think, separate better than Rakan. So you end up hurting yourself quite a bit if you do that. I'd rather just see, you have a strong laner like the Caitlyn, pair that perhaps with another strong laner, and then really look to just try to match that power in the 2v2.
Let's see what comes through then. They've, of course, got that dual lane coming through. 30 seconds to the next pick, and they're going to do what happened in the last game, which is match the Sejuani pick with the Zac. Well, of course, still time to show if they really want to do this, but neither Cassiopeia nor Ryze have really shown themselves so far this draft. High priority mids, and it will be Zac, so dual lanes plus jungle for both these sides. CLG actually going to play Morgana into Xayah Rakan.
Very interesting to see the Morgana this early in the draft. You know, I was going to mention that when you have third pick as the red side, you can do something like pick a Ryze, then ban out the Cassio in the second round of bans and kind of get this uninterrupted strong power pick in the mid lane. But they are very heavily prioritizing the 2v2 power. They do not want to fall behind against something like this Xayah Rakan, who has been very dominant on the patch.
And CLG doesn't seem to really be much of a Ryze team. They did win a game on the champ, but he's only played it once here, Huhi, despite the fact that it's been a premier mid laner the entire year. At a certain point, they just haven't been prioritizing that champion. Camille and Shen removed from the options here. CLG, we'll see if they put in a Cassiopeia ban to maybe get a better blind Ryze, and I assume they'll counterpick for Darshan here in the top lane. He's typically been a pretty good laner from what I've seen. So we'll have to see what Zix thinks the best way forward is for CLG. There's a Zero off the table.
And while I definitely agree that Darshan traditionally has been a very strong laner, I actually felt like his performances haven't been as good in the last couple of weeks. And to me, it was not because he got worse as a player. It was because I felt that he was pushing too far. He was looking desperate and trying to force his plays and trying to find ways to get advantages that he didn't necessarily have the right to do. You know, trying to look for all-ins and really aggressive trades when he doesn't know where the jungler is. And things like this can really start to cost you when you are playing at the professional level and the other jungler is playing around those tendencies.
So Huhi, 2 Orianna games in a row, beat Liquid with it last Sunday. Wants to blind pick that as his mid laner of choice here. He's trying to maybe settle on a champion pool that works best for him. He said part of the goal is to be a bit more of a carry himself. And now Ryze will go over to Fly, though. Again, the most prioritized champion in Pro in 8.4.
So Gnar is available. Flame was not willing to play the Gnar blind into a potential Camille counterpick against, the TSM matchup last week that I was talking about. He didn't want that matchup. You can go for just something blind like a Cho'Gath if you want to play very conservatively here and just grab yourself a tank, and that is going to be the option. And we could be putting ourselves in the exact same situation, the exact same matchup that he actually had against Hauntzer last week, where it was that Camille, but GP can be very strong here into tanks as well. I personally like Trundle a lot in this meta into tanks. I think it is very, very strong in lane, can work as a split pusher, can also work well into something like the Zac as far as having the pillar to deny the jump in, being able to shred the stats off these frontline tanks, but it's going to be Maokai, which...
CLG, they want a tank, and it's a ball delivery champion as well. So I agree with you. I love Trundle. I like the idea of what the gameplay cover was. They have a tank on the roster, but the choice is a flank teleporter with a point-and-click CC that is criminally easy to shockwave after, and that might be what they go for here.
And I think the pick is very good in the draft. I think that it makes sense with their team composition. What I always question is, why is your top lane your counter pick? Like, why is it your 5th pick if you are picking a disadvantageous lane matchup?
Sure.
Cho'Gath beats Maokai pretty heavily in lane. That is something where you can get a pretty large advantage. We saw Huhi smashing Dokla with this 100 CS up. Yes, it is not Huhi versus Dokla. It is Flame versus Darshan, much more even, but still, you're expecting that to be in the advantage of Flame. And
I agree.
In my opinion, then you should be looking to just simply blind pick the Maokai a little bit earlier, perhaps, and be able to kind of give maybe more of an advantage to someone like Huhi with a counter pick or something along those lines.
And well, it feels like CLG didn't lose too many options anyway, but we'll see comes through onto this one. Counterlogic Gaming, the sweetheart of the teams to challenge into the top 6. This is a 7th versus 8th place team battle. 4 games to play. Both these squads can make it, probably only 1-0 even will. But there's the comps on your screen. We'll see if FlyQuest can make that resurgence. They have lost several in a row, a 4-game losing streak. CLG have won 2 in a row for themselves. We'll see if that can keep going as well. Or will the streaks be broken? That man is shocked to be on camera, and now he's smiling. You're welcome for the shout out, buddy. Let's go into the game. Second of the day, FlyQuest versus Counterlogic Gaming.
Yeah, and this is interesting. This is kind of the Darshan special, going Spellbook on the Maokai. Almost no one else is really doing this. It is a very, very rare to see it in any league in pro play. He is really prioritizing the playmaking, and the shorter cooldown on teleport, the shorter cooldown on flash for the engages, but you are taking a losing lane and making it even more of a losing lane by going into someone who is playing grass there. So we will see how that is really going to pan out. If Darshan gets locked into an isolated lane, you do not have a combat rune as your keystone, right?
Yeah.
So you should be getting even more behind off of that.
Absolutely.
But it did work out last time he brought it out. You know, he was able to survive lane, and then he was able to get it out on the map and really be effective in the team fights.
So let's see if we can do that here as we once again look for the cheeky level 1s of CLG. One of the things I really do respect and love about this team is they have what feels like several crafted level 1 engages, and once in a while they find that extra, the little free first blood. It feels like a team that actually does look at their opponents and try to play to their tendencies and figure out where you can catch people out. This game, it does not mean much of anything for CLG, but I love the fact that they try. I think it's almost always a free advantage.
Exactly, and I'm totally in agreement with that, because I cannot really think of hardly any times at all where they've actually got a disadvantage off of the pre-planned level 1s that they like to do, because they're the ones instigating it. They're the ones, you know, who are grouped up for these plays. So even if you run into your opponents, you can very often back off and not really have it be much of an issue. So I love that they try it. W4, though, is so strong with Rakan.
And Biofrost has to flash. They might be the damage anyway. Gets first blooded at 147. WildTurtle, the one more shot will do him in. And he can't get away from the wall, so at least a trade for CLG's side. And honestly, it means more farm for Stixxay that actually might have betrayed FlyQuest a little bit.
Yeah, despite the fact that first blood goes over, he's going to be able to actually have the wave and kind of get more experience, get more gold here. But here it is again. This is the power of the level 1 from Xayah Rakan. The W popped by Xayah works also on the Rakan, so both of you get that increased attack speed. Both of you are able to put out that damage, but WildTurtle does not get his heal off before the ignite comes down from Biofrost there, which means the heal, very little effectiveness. Stixxay free-firing back on WildTurtle that whole time, is able to trade a kill back, and we'll be able to probably get a pretty advantageous buy when he does actually go back for that, whereas Turtle just got the longsword because he didn't pick up any farm before going for that all-in.
And I really have to sing Biofrost praises for waiting till
ReignOver could actually get this lane gank. This level
Someone
1, no
spot
subs.
lane bind, gonna be going in. The flash for a slow. They should be able to land on WildTurtle. The CC layers. 2 more hits will do him in. That's the kill. 2-0. Now for the AD carry, Stixxay in the bot lane. CLG heads up play early game.
Yeah, that is just really smart pathing from ReignOver. You know the AD carry is going to be level 1. You know he has no summoners. And now WildTurtle is going to get very far behind off of this series of plays.
It feels like a lane swap. Who else has won CS 3 minutes into the game? I feel like we're back to 2013 here in this one.
The top laners can sympathize.
Top laners can sympathize indeed. Nice little shot there. Did you know Caitlyn headshot aims at the head of the champion?
I did, because of a Reddit post that you also learned of.
I knew it. No, I knew it before the Reddit post. You take that back.
Ooh.
I have a bigger brain than those guys.
Can't prove it.
I guess.
You're like, oh, I guess you won.
Yeah, okay, well.
All right, well, ReignOver is behind mid lane as well, already having the effectiveness on bot lane. Now here behind Fly, and Fly could be in trouble.
Has flash heal. Will he get hit up right there? Nice knockup comes in after shock, and there we go. Flash over the wall. Okay. Fly will lose his flash, and we'll see if he turns TP in and comes back to lane.
But that's honestly another advantage gained off of all the bot lane shenanigans, because Onda had to go and help collect some of that farm, collect some of the experience, and keep that 2v2 safe. Here is the initial play again. The flash Q does not land there from ReignOver, but they're able to get the passive stun. Stunt is not in position to actually block that binding. He probably should have soaked it, even if it meant his death, to protect WildTurtle there, but he does not. Turtle goes down, and CLG, after a really good start, ReignOver has been affecting the map heavily. Now this is a summonerless Ryze, and he is here again.
Well, no flash.
Here they go.
For Sejuani. Can he get in the range for QW? That should be pretty easy. He's going to get the slow. Where's the command protect? Where's the slow? Nice stun going to be landed here. Now Huhi can come in for a bit more. That's some more CC towards Fly running away, but now no more crowd control left for CLG after that slow. The damage is going to be enough. Yes, it is. Huhi gets the final blow. Equals CS, but he's got a kill in the mid lane, and that is about 4 ganks now for ReignOver.
Yeah, what an incredible start there from CLG. Despite the fact that First Blood goes over, it's 3 consecutive kills now for them. Bot lane winning very heavily. Stixxay is going to go back with a nice chunk of change in his pocket, and the repeat gank again from ReignOver, that is something you'd love to see. The CC chain, another trap.
Just loves cupcakes. That's a lot of damage done right there. Now Stixxay's got to be a bit careful though. WildTurtle can put his auto attack.
Careful.
That's going to be a knock-up. Almost lands. The black shield comes in and wasn't going to land anyway as Stixxay stays alive on that.
And that CC chain was forever. He steps on a trap, gets bound into that, into another trap. And you know, Stixxay, despite the fact that he is very far ahead, has not fought, so he has to still play with respect to his opponents. In that regard, that's sometimes one of the things you can kind of get caught up in. You're like, I'm 2-0, I'm really strong. Well, you just have a Doran shield. So he does need to get back to base eventually and find that timing to go spend up his gold, and then he can really start to kind of exert his power out here in this 2v2.
Let's see what comes through then, as Caitlyn's going to keep this push going pretty reliably. Lots of auto attacks coming through. CS lead remains about 20 down here as Turtle is now back to surviving this lane. Stixxay win and actually get his first recall off. He's actually sitting on 2,100 gold, so in a couple of waves, he can get BF plus pickaxe. This one, of course, a cannon wave. He's going to be quite a bit slower to push, but at some point he will go back, and a little unlucky there. Darshan actually roots himself into it.
Oh, ReignOver is behind them. He snuck through the vision again. They don't see him. This is going to be so frustrating for FlyQuest.
Another bot lane gank. WildTurtle is still flashless. Has heals, though. Going to land the stun, and the damage comes through anyway. Stunt thankfully has cleanse. He saw that one coming forward and gets out of that. But geez, the ganks out of ReignOver, capitalizing on no summoners. And he still has equal farm, but he's got 5 ganks off.
And the path thing is actually going to be so frustrating there for FlyQuest. They have 2 pigs in the river. They have one in the forward brush, one in the pixel brush. He actually avoided all of that by going straight through the dragon pit. And whether that was through their tracking of vision or whether that through was, you know, just kind of a little bit of good luck there or a guess, either way it works out. They felt that they were safe because of the vision. They were definitely not, and they go down again. 3 deaths pre-7 minutes for Turtle. He is going to be in a world of pain in this 2v2. And just look at this. I mean, he sneaks around past everything. They have no idea that he's here again. And picking up another easy kill on a Turtle who is still summonerless, and even forcing the cleanse here out of Stunt. Just really good things for CLG.
And you can't blame the mechanics of Turtle playing that fight, but I do question him pushing at all. I feel like your summoner down, ReignOver's been ganking constantly. Should you really be anywhere outside your turret? And it feels like he's ready to press buttons to shove the wave pretty constantly.
Yeah, and while I do agree, I think a lot of it just comes down to they thought they were safe because they had 2 pigs in the river, right? They were not expecting that sort of a path. If ReignOver had gone for a wraparound behind the dragon pit, the pixel ward sees him. If he goes through a river to lane gank, that ward sees him. They even had, you know, a lane ward a little bit further up, so they felt that they were safe from all angles, but that is the one that they did not anticipate. And
yeah, it's
tough because when you are this behind, if you then give up a freeze, you're falling even further behind. So sometimes you have to put yourself in these risky spots, and it's hard to know if he needed to there or not. But either way, it really puts Stixxay in an enormous lead. I mean, it's BF plus Zerkers to Zerkers plus a longsword.
Yeah, so his individual gold lead is about 900. The overall gold lead for Counterlogic Gaming, only this 1,200 gold, which, okay, matters quite a bit right now, but 1,200 gold is not the kind of thing you're like, oh my gosh, this game is over. And if FlyQuest can hold on like Clutch did earlier on today, then it's only so much of a lead. We'll see as that plays forward 8 minutes into this one.
Yeah, definitely not that big of a deal, but ReignOver moving down to the bot side again. And one thing that I think it's kind of funny to say, but you know, it is an advantage on the top side, but the fact that Darshan is not getting slammed, is not down 25 CS or whatever at this point as a spellbook Maokai into a grass Cho'Gath, I think is something that is they're going to be pretty happy about, or at least feeling okay about.
Yeah. One thing I also like from Darshan, we've seen how frequently players love to go for Banner of Command in the tank versus tank matchup, especially magic damage tanks who can't kill the minions very easily. Wow. Darshan brought Demagializer and kept all 6 stacks, expecting Flame to rush that, so you can just keep the wave from being pushed into him.
Also pretty interesting to see how heavily he is prioritizing the rest of his team and being able to affect other lanes. He was down 12, 14 CS, and with minions at his turret, did not TP back to lane. So that is actually really increasing the disadvantage as far as the individual gold lead. But he is saying it is more worthwhile to hold on to my TP to help the other lanes. So Darshan very heavily playing for the team in that regard. And then the question becomes, can you convert on the TP elsewhere? Otherwise, you have just really kind of harmed yourself in that 1v1, and it's not going to pay off.
Well, for now, this bot lane turret down to about 1/4 here. And of course, Ando waiting around, seen by a ward. But it looks like CLG happy to try to get first turret down in this lane. Darshan holding on to his reasonably well, so that's not going to be under too much threat. CLG might in the next couple of minutes go for that, or the Ocean Drake aggro. No, they're not going to go for that just yet, but could see CLG look for that turret to fall soon enough. If they can ever see on the top side, that might mean when they pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because the fact that Darshan is holding onto his TP is also enabling them to push for that first turret. Yes, he gave up farm, but if you use your TP to go back to lane, then FlyQuest can look to do a TP play bot side, kill off their bot lane, and then try to take first turret on their own. So they're kind of trying to fight back by holding onto that for a potential counter.
Of course, a nice bind right there by Biofrost, and again, it's going to land. Means plenty of damage. They've done a really good job of finding poke here, and I got to say, for as strong as a Xayah Rakan duo is supposed to be, and of course, yes, the gold is quite a bit apart here between these two teams, I do like how they've been able to play this matchup. Be outranged, outrange other abilities, land the black shield on reflex, and then that poke from the vines, I mean, really powerful.
Exactly, and if Biofrost is playing back behind Stixxay, as he most often is, you can reactively black shield that grand entrance, and you're going to be able to actually stop that big engage, which is kind of required for Xayah Rakan to really get the super strong traits.
Shockwave's going to land where they follow up for much more. Not yet, but in the front line is Anda gets interrupted now by ReignOver. They trade back and forth. Left bounce brings him in. Here comes the teleports, the flash away. Going to want to be hit, but then goes back in for the ulti. Only finds the slow, though. I question even flashing backwards if you're going to go for the ulti anyway, but that is the play that was made as the teleports were finished channeling, and no kills found.
Oh, and Darshan's actually just going to stick around. He's going right down to the bot side to try to set up some sort of a dive or perhaps a fight that enables them to get this turret. But again, mini waves are pushing towards him, so they need to execute on this, and they need to try to knock down this turret quickly.
Stixxay takes a couple turret shots, though. He's a bit injured now for this one, but look at that. They can get the damage on the turret itself with the rest of the team sitting around.
It's solo gold, perhaps.
They push them away. They share the goal between Biofrost and Stixxay, but that is first turret going counter Logic's way. 2,000 gold lead on their quest for that playoff spot. Checking box number 1 is beat FlyQuest, and so far, a quite good start for that.
Darshan really does need to get back up to the top side, or someone does, though, because the wave is stacking and it's going to be kind of given away if no one is getting up there. And it looks like they probably will end up losing most, if not all, of that wave, as they are going to be basing pretty late, and it's going to kind of eventually get shoved in here.
We'll see who goes there, as the Maokai is sitting in the bot lane, so I believe it's the CLG duo heading topside, and of course, just on time, banner of command used. Thankfully for CLG, it's probably a Caitlyn running into that, but this is still going to be a lot of damage on this turret. Die.
It's actually, with the auto attack reset from Cho'Gath, his base damage AD is very high, plus the banner, plus the mini wave. So actually pretty disappointed in how slowly CLG reacted to that, because that wave had been building for quite some time. I understand Darshan wanting to stay around to enable the first turret, but as soon as that goes down, I feel like someone should immediately have been recalling and trying to stop the kind of counter push from happening there. But not really thinking too much ahead of that, and are going to give up that turret.
Yeah, it seems they chose to give them benefit of the doubt. They chose to secure Cloud Drake instead of recall to the top lane, and I don't know if that's really worth the cost, even if you're kind of believing in them generously. Biofrost's going to hope to maybe get a random steal, but he doesn't know what's happening. Rip Herald goes down. That will be picked up by FlyQuest. So 2 objectives topside with, that's Flame solo. Of course, yes, Darshan semi-counterpicked himself. Flame able to do well in the matchup,
and
it's supposed to be.
And everything, but these are all their choices.
Yes, of course, the choices. So, but with no real effort required, Flame got kind of the same results to a certain extent that CLG got in the duo with all the ganks. Of course, the extra gold certainly still does matter.
And this is why, there's this kind of this fine line that I feel Darshan often is walking, where he plays so much for the team, and sometimes I think to his detriment, especially in carry matchups. Sometimes you'll see him as a Fiora roaming to join the team and putting himself behind on farm. And on champions like that, I definitely think it is 100% not worth it. It's obviously different on a Maokai. It's more okay to be behind in farm and looking for these plays, but it's only okay to a certain point. right? He's now down 30 CS. If they can continually make plays around him, it's okay. But if you get yourself to a point where you're down 50, 60, 70 CS behind a Cho'Gath, and he just becomes such a stronger tank in the 5v5, well, it's no longer worth it. And I mean, again, Darshan's going to be losing minions here. They have the Rift Herald. That's going to be very likely another turret just going the way of FlyQuest. So, was it really worth it for him to kind of put that little bit of pressure onto Fly, which resulted in a tiny bit of turret damage? And this is one of the things I most question about Darshan's play. And whoever is calling for it, who knows, maybe it's someone else, doesn't really matter, but it is the decisions that they are making with this player.
Totally agree. The farm lead is actually slightly greater in Flame versus Darshan than it is in Stixxay versus WildTurtle. The turret score actually advantaged for the former FlyQuest, actually winning out in their top lane matchup substantially.
And it's insane to say that it is a bigger CS lead there than it is in the bot lane, where WildTurtle got hard camped, got killed 3 times in a row. It's like about as tragic as it can get in this 2v2, but yet the gold differential is going to be bigger probably on the top side of the map because of the turret gold going Flame's way, and that was just a 1v1.
Yep. The well-played to Flame at least finding some success in a tank-tank matchup, and we'll see if that can be one of the paths to victory for FlyQuest. So they have basically tied up this game now. They're down on Cloud Drake and 500 gold, and as the internet knows, neither means anything. I still believe in Cloud Drake, but that's okay. You can all just disagree with me.
I believe in the you that believes in Cloud Drake.
Oh, I appreciate that. I believe in the you that believes in me that believes in Cloud Drake, so I must be right. And we're on to the races here as Flame once again going to clear some minions away and sees Darshan and goes, that's fine, trees can't hurt void creatures.
That's true.
Yep.
He's going to be a strong boy.
Yeah.
The Cho'Gath, I'll be interested to see where he goes. It looks like he's building towards probably an Abyssal. I'm assuming that is going to be for the Catalyst items in his inventory right now. And Abyssal plus tier completed on the Ryze, so going for the more tanky option. Again, as I talked about it last game, and you talked about the fact that there was this pretty tanky Cassiopeia build. This is, again, a 3 magic damage topside from CLG, plus a magic damage support. Only physical damage on the team really is Stixxay. So, going for the Abyssal, insanely efficient here from Fly. And this is a world where it even does make some sense to go into Abilities.
Loose Might comes in. There's the knockout. They actually found some purchase on a Caitlyn, and that's Stixxay trying to run away, but the Featherstorm is in. The Blade Collar not even needed. The kill comes through. TP out from Flame, mirrored by Darshan, but nothing done by either top laner. Quick stun comes out for ReignOver as the chase might still continue. A flash out from Darshan. Doesn't want to get hit by this, but a slow now towards Biofrost onto. Not going to follow through on that just yet. 1-0 on the top side now for FlyQuest. Looking to push more.
Yeah, nicely done by them. They're the ones who are going to be pushing up on this turret. Not a lot of wave clear in position. It's really just Biofrost, so this is going to be a FlyQuest turret here, almost guaranteed. Another banner popped up. They are looking really good, despite the fact that the bottom side of the map, did go heavily the other way. Caitlyn is at a pretty weak point of the game until she completes a couple items, and FlyQuest is just establishing big edges elsewhere on the map.
Really impressive stuff by them, managing to get themselves a gold lead for the first time since First Blood happened. We got that top lane fight again, and just really nice out of stun, actually. Just managed to get through, baits the Biofrost Black Shield.
Yeah, exactly, and that is really the key part there. Not sure if he would have got out even if that didn't happen, but Biofrost uses the Black Shield on himself. That means that Stixxay is going to be exposed for the Rakan combo, and they're going to clean up that kill, force out a flash, not get any more, but still. The edges are growing a bit there for FlyQuest, and WildTurtle, catching up a little bit off that. Does pick up an assist, does get some turret gold, and you can see that the Zeke's is already completed here for Stunt, which has become such a common first full item pickup on the Rakan. People are really starting to like this and value this item more and more. Not only the slowing field for the Rakan, kind of increasing the power of that engage, but the true damage, or not a true damage.
Yeah, magic damage burn based on your damage. Yeah, it's definitely really powerful. So cool to see that item. It's been unsung for a little while, and we'll see if FlyQuest can converge on some more kills pretty soon. As their 600 gold lead now looking for a bit more to do as mid lane is a bit under pressure. Huhi playing towards the back, waiting to wave clear, but dives can always be threatening. The Morgana coming down now, but there's the flash engage. The back chase by Zach. You're going to pull him in. Shotgun to buy some more time. The left cross brings it back to the forefront.
So much CC.
Flame is here. The damage of it coming across the silence, and that's the kill on the Huhi. 1 for 0 so far. Blade Collar going to come through for a little bit more as actually Fly will lose his life. Stixxay finds that one. Stunt going to fall. A double kill now. Caitlyn, 5 of the kills for the team. Looking for a bit more. A huge rupture on a 3, though. Buy some time via Flame. As Anna forced to run away, Blade Collar doesn't find too much as they keep running away, and that will be the team surviving. Still +1 to counter Logic Gaming. That outer turret will fall.
Yeah, nicely fought back there by CLG, and you can see how well Huhi was able to survive that, largely in part to the fact that his Seraphs was already completed at this point in the game. That massive shield plus the E self-shielding with Command Protect there did buy a lot of time. They were expecting to be able to burst him down much more quickly than they did, but he cleanses, he flashes, he builds space, and he buys time for his team to come in and turn that fight around. And just look at how much shielding this really is. I mean, they're expecting a very fast kill, really quick fingers to actually get away. Black Shield comes down, Seraph comes down, Command Protect comes down. You know, that is a lot of damage that was negated. Got him a lot of extra time for Darshan to arrive, for ReignOver and Stixxay and Biofrost to all come in and clean up a couple kills here, plus going positive on the turret. This is a nice play here from Onda, though, to actually peel them off of Turtle. Yeah. It's a little slap together on both of the CC there that would have otherwise been an extra kill for CLG. So, little thing, but nicely done.
Nicely done indeed. Now it's a 2-3 turret game as CLG managed to get quite a giant chunk out of that mid lane turret. It actually is dead, of course. Top lane mostly untouched, which you'd expect from the matchup. You saw quite a bit of damage out of both these AD carries. Marksman in the bot lane. Not a lot out of Fly as he fell pretty quickly on, but still scaling up. That Seraphs won't be too far away from his build. 1000 will be kind of Logic Gaming. Almost finds a slow on a stunt. He'll kill that ward no problem and look for number 2.
I like the build a lot here from Flame, actually. This is something that sometimes you don't see players prioritize CDR as much, but with the blue buff, he was sitting on 40% CDR already. He's already at 7 stacks. He's scaling very heavily, and having that feast up very often to continually look to increase those stacks does make you so much stronger in the later stages of the game. So, like the investment of CDR early on, like the banner, like the whole build here for Flame, and he really is going to be a terror in these team fights, especially being able to kind of help to focus down the front line is one of the biggest strengths of Cho'Gath.
It's in his name, Azael. He's a terror of the void. Intentional gameplay achieved now for Flame, playing the character exactly as Canon expects. And we'll see as Stixxay gets some shields and walks topside for Fly. He was mostly MR stacked, and now ReignOver behind him as well. Can they land the CC? No, they won't.
Oh,
the out.
Nicely sidestepped.
Yeah, sidesteps the Glacial Prison. Goodbye, a realm warps away.
Well done there, but FlyQuest now trying to push up mid lane here. CLG, a lot of members collapsing, but I don't think they're going to be here fast enough. This should be a turret to FlyQuest's name, and that's what happens when you commit that many resources to the top side of the map. Fly does a good job avoiding it. Darshan is pushing out on the bottom side, so not really many answers left for CLG to stop that turret from going down. But we've gotten ourselves into a very close game. The gold is very even overall. It is just kind of allocated in different ways, right? The top side of the map is kind of stronger there for FlyQuest. Flame is very, very powerful. And for CLG, it's almost all about this Caitlyn. That is where their big advantage is. 1,600, 1,500 gold ahead there for Stixxay. But Turtle is on 2 items now, and he is not going to be irrelevant in the team fights by any means.
Yeah, certainly not a slouch for Xayah. Just doesn't have quite that same burst as an Infinity Edge Caitlyn with 70% crits going to have. So we'll see if CLG can play around Stixxay. He's been probably their star performer for the last 7 or 8 straight games. Even in the losses, he's actually been really huge. And it's just another game looking like that one is probably going to slink away, and we'll see if yet again Stixxay can carry Counter Logic Gaming close to a playoff spot.
It's a lot of pressure on him. Yes, there is Biofrost to help protect him with the black shield, and Huhi can protect him up with the shields, and there's a lot of front line, so they have a good comp to enable Stixxay on this Caitlyn. But still, if you do mess up and you get caught by the engage here from Stunt, you get pulled in by Onda, you get chomped up by Flame. If he goes down instantly at the start of the fight, their advantage will be erased off the map, so he's going to have to position well, but also not be playing too scared, right? We saw how well Apollo was able to play in the mid and later stages of the game on that Caitlyn earlier. Being able to, once he was at those critical items, step forward, constantly getting damage out, and that's what we need to see from Stixxay. You really have to kind of ride that line. Ooh, the camp on the bush.
Yep, unfortunately it is warded. So, egg on their face for that one. Nice try, Counter Logic Gaming. 2 minutes till the next objective comes in. Looks like we've now slowed down this mid-game a little bit here, and the gold is basically identical. CLG runs faster out of combat, and that's the only major difference here.
And I do have to point out that Darshan, to his credit, yes, he was roaming very heavily and kind of deprioritizing his own lane. He has not fallen further behind by any means, right? He has kept this around a 30 CS, 35 CS deficit, which is not the end of the world. He was playing very heavily for his team and has kind of worked out in that way. Yes, he is behind in the 1v1, but it did not continue to expand. This is not this massive disadvantage, and I think that because of it, the way he has played is certainly very justifiable.
And very expectedly, of course, by looking at the scoreboard, though the gold is equal, the leads are in very different places. You talked about Stixxay's lead in the Caitlyn, that lead basically mirrored by Flame. I would argue Caitlyn can use that lead more than a Cho'Gath can over his lane opponent here, so this inequality in gold actually might help CLG overall based on where it's distributed.
Certainly can be the case. Banner, I think, throws a little bit of kind of a weird calculation to that because Banner, yes, there is a statistical value to it as far as the actual armor and MR and all these sorts of things.
Yeah.
How do you place a precise amount of value on a Banner, right? And he's able to kind of build that and still win his lane, and he's going to have additional engage from this Righteous Glory. So if they can actually get a Baron and secure that with the Cho'Gath, then really that gold lead can start to become pretty advantageous if it allows you to knock down inhibitors, if it allows you to take down extra turrets.
So see if they can make that Baron play happen right now. Looking at the vision, it is FlyQuest doing a better job of it. CLG have deep wards in the jungle, but no wards on the river right now. They actually don't see FlyQuest around this side of the map right now, and those Baron baits can come through a bit later on. CLG going to face check into the ReignOver.
And Fly is pushing very heavily up here on the top side of the map. Darshan is roaming up, so now they are missing, and Fly is starting to back off, but CLG needs to try to force some sort of a play, and they're going here on a Turtle.
A lot of roots in this one. Turtle going to get away. Shotgun will find Stunt, but he jumps right back out, and look at the kiting. The dual lane is gone, but now Let's Bounce also going to be used. Pops in a Bloblitz, but might be hard to kill. Stun's going to come through. They might get the trade through, and almost getting stunned. Oh, to the base goes Darshan, and he can't find Purchase just yet. Looking for one more shot. Q flash will come through. Likely to lose his life, but will it matter in time as the damage still coming across? The mid lane tier 2 is down. They will get the trade kill on a Maokai, but CLG getting, I would say, more out of it as mid tier 2 is gone.
Yeah.
Now on the inhibitor as well. Ryze still not in this fight.
Yeah, Fly is still not with the team. He should have probably just based at this point. He was trying to maybe threaten to take out the minions from behind or go for a flank, but he's not able to pull off that. CLG just moves forward towards his team away from him. And as a result, they're able to knock down some turrets, even an inhibitor turret there, and get a trade of kills as well.
What a strange fight, by the way, but +2 turrets to Counterlogic Gaming, obviously quite amazing. Darshan managed to trade with Stunt, of course, as far as those kills are concerned. CLG 1000 ahead, but now look at the play. That's not going to land for a slow. No rupture just yet. The flash forward fly is going to land the Rune Prison, and Stixxay going to get the death penalty instead for that one. On they go towards the Baron.
And this is that kind of doomsday situation where I talked about if you do get caught out as the Caitlyn, despite the fact that you are very safe, it can get really, really hard. And they're going to try to find ReignOver now. I think they should just start the Baron, though, and then turn for the fight once CLG has committed to try to stop.
They've got Cho'Gath. It shouldn't be that hard.
Exactly.
Shockwave, yes, it's available, but how much damage do you really have when the 5-kill Caitlyn is dead? FlyQuest just unwilling to pull the trigger, choosing safety over what I feel like could have been the better play.
Yeah, I definitely think it is the better play. You have to look at it as a matter of percentages. Is that a 100% safe play to start the Baron? No. But is that, the 80% play? Is that the 70% play? I believe it is, and thus I think it's a mistake to not have started up, and now they're starting it up. But Caitlyn is back on the map, so there's a potential that Stixxay could be here for the fight.
5 to 10 until Caitlyn can join the fray. So they kill it in time, looking for that feast.
Looking for feast, yeah.
Spike can come in early, then feast afterwards, down to 1900. Will they get the play in there? Chomp comes through, they get it, and the fight engages. Stixxay though about to re-engage, but one's already dead. It's a 5v4. This could be huge as Anja's buying the time as Stixxay flashes, cleanses away, but he's going to fall anyway. Re-engages a bit too late. Now Realmorph looking for one more as managed to FlyQuest to get the fight in time, and now CC on Darshan. Should not be starting this one any longer. Anja gets a kill on a Biofrost, and FlyQuest do manage to go for Baron. They get it before Caitlyn shows up. They will get the chase kill as well as Darshan slowly regens up, and they look for number 5 as well with ReignOver on the wings. Anja hoping to slow him down a little bit longer. Finally, the Maokai will fall.
This is now, the Baron minions are already there. They're there in the mid lane, they're there in the top lane, the banner is available. This could be multiple inhibitors for FlyQuest off of that play. Stixxay does arrive just barely in time, but it's just to die again, and now they're being pushed in on both sides. Baron waves were already prepped. The banner cannon is here. This is probably 2 inhibitors, and that could be a death blow.
4v5, 20 seconds in Darshan. He took so long to die, he can't join this for the defense. Mid lane will be cleared away. Top lane inhibitor is gone, and that will be a FlyQuest disengage. So they took the time they needed. They started it just in time for the Caitlyn respawn, and they got so much out of it.
Yeah, they got a ton there, and they do not end up going for that second inhibitor. They decide to kind of take the safer play. I think it is smart to just back off, spend all the gold that you have now got. They're 5K ahead off that play, but that was enormous for them. They do start the fight. They're going over onto the Baron. They're forcing CLG in. This was after the initial pick onto Stixxay. They know if Cho'Gath actually secure this, they're able to do just that. You'll look at the smite coming in here from Onda to set up the feast there from Flame. Here is the smite right about now at about 1,800 down to 1,100, and there's the second smite from ReignOver.
Yeah.
About 300 off there, and that's the advantage the feast has. And right as Stixxay walks back, he just immediately gets jumped on by Zach. He pops the QSS to flash out, but he's rooted right after there by Ryze, and he was split up from the team, so not able to be protected, not able to find any advantages with his gold lead, and that gold lead is gone now. He's actually behind WildTurtle as far as the individual gold, which is pretty crazy to say.
And it's absolutely crazy. 6,000, nearly the gold lead for FlyQuest overall as a team. They've managed to get one Drake to themselves. We saw that in the picture-in-picture. And the siege can continue. 1:14 still on this Baron buff. Banner of Command not yet available here for the Cho'Gath, but doesn't really even matter. Bot lane tier 2 very likely to fall if they want to push for it. And that's going to die. No one really but Biofrost defending. Down goes yet another turret. 7-4 in that mark.
And FlyQuest, again, has the minion waves timed so well. Darshan has to go up to the top side to try to deal with those super minions, but Maokai's wave clear is very weak at this stage in the game, so he's going to require likely additional help. They have mid lane being shoved in here by Fly, top lane being pushed in by supers, bot lane with the banner and cannon is prepped. And this is probably going to be another turret getting knocked down here very, very quickly.
3, 4,
how high can you
5,
go? Is that it?
6.
Second hand is out.
7, 8. I can't count anymore. I don't know what comes after 8. Maybe next match.
We didn't go over 10.
1.
We're running out of fingers there.
Oh! It got 1. Darshan is a scumbag. He stopped their counting. That's okay, though. He's not invited back to Sesame Street. And now, the turret dead, the inhibitor low, the CC coming in, but not finding much. ReignOver kiting away and pops a stopwatch. Doesn't mean too much for him, though, as team attacks come through. WildTurtle feels safe enough, but they will kite back for now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice ult over on there in a turtle, but no follow-up came out. CLG did not feel confident to actually go for the engage after it, and Onda threatening the jump in, but that's another inhibitor down. Super minions are coming on the top side.
Could be dangerous for Flame, though. Pops the... Okay, they're all... Oh, no,
he
hit
got
rooted up.
too.
With a shockwave on a 2, the re-engage, but they've already got 1 kill onto Flame, and they're going to find that second one as the mid laner and the top laner dead. Now, it's going to be pulling him right back in onto the front lines, but it does not matter. Into Bloblets they go. That shockwave, the follow-through off of the Realm Warp bait was huge. 3 state kills for CLG. Darshan alone against the squad. He'll be fine, though.
Yeah, that almost was really nice from Fly, but he was not in line with Onda, so the root that hit Onda, you know, that got blocked, but the one beside it actually ends up grabbing Fly. So, you know, if you are standing perfectly in line with him, this Realm Warp would not get actually interrupted. They would be able to get out, so watch this one more time. Realm Warp started up. The first root hits him, but the second one from the side, actually, because Fly moved out a little bit to the left, so that mistake does cost them a couple kills. They still got the inhibitor. They are still in the advantage, but definitely a pretty costly little error there from him, giving 3 kills over to CLG and allowing them to somewhat stabilize a little bit here.
Get it stabilized, and we'll see if they can grow from this, because it's still a 5,000, well, 4.3 thousand deficit for Counterlogic Gaming. They've got to work back from, as you mentioned, the individual gold not quite as stellar as before, but AD carries basically tied here, while WildTurtle and Stixxay have ostensibly the same items, and Infinity Edge down with a lot of crit chance means they're both really, really scary here. Lord Dominus Regards just finished now for Stixxay. He's got tank busting now in that build. Last item will be Mercurial Scimitar up from Quicksilver Sash.
Yeah, I've got to say I was a little bit surprised to see the Last Whisper was not built, and instead he's going towards his Bloodthirster here for WildTurtle. Perhaps feels that he has enough frontline damage with the Ryze and the Cho'Gath that he doesn't need to build it, but you know, he already has the Zeal build here with his Rapid Fire and his IE and Essence Reaver. I think it should have been a Last Whisper instead, especially against the Maokai. Having a healing debuff, I think, is incredibly important part of making him less tanky with that passive. Every time he autos in the late game, it's hundreds of healing. So definitely would have preferred to see that be a Last Whisper into Executioner's Calling.
Yeah, might have been the right choice for him, but he's choosing safety instead. He's choosing to not die, and he's hoping the damage numbers are high enough. 4,000 gold puts FlyQuest ahead, and that might push him over the hump regardless. And could inform the choices, but you're right. I think it's a contentious choice here, and he chose safety. Onda getting rid of some of the blast cones, making sure they control vision around this Baron, spawning in 45 seconds. And CLG, they've got basically nothing down there. They can see a disengaged ward in the Baron pit. That's basically all they've got. So Good luck, Counterlogic Gaming, finding their way into this one. 30 seconds, though. They don't need to rush this just yet, but they're going to try to get some vision back. They find CC, but unstoppable is what Onda is as he pulls in the front line. Looking for damage now. A stone plate pop. That's 5,000 health on a Sejuani. That's not going to die anytime quickly.
Definitely not. Turtle able to get some damage in on the side, though, on the Stixxay, kind of pushing around. And Darshan is flanking, and they're going to probably look for this fight. You can see Darshan coming up from the river. They want this.
Engagement stun finds a lot. ReignOver very low on health, but here comes Darshan. Finds this one, goes in. Nice jump up for WildTurtle. Ulti comes across. Who's going to find the shockwave? It's going to be damage on the stun, but he gets out, and that's the Orianna ultimate down. Now Stixxay found out and chomped by a flame. He snuffs him out entirely. Darshan next up. He burns down as well. 2 for 0. And that's going to be them walking it into the base. Can you even defend without Shockwave, without your AD carry any longer? Top lane inhibitor, of course. Bear, no turret in front of it. ReignOver certainly cannot defend against 5.
Yeah, and the banner is even available. I think this is all she wrote for CLG. They just can't keep Stixxay alive in these fights. Had both summoners available, has the front line, has the Black Shield and Command Protect, but it has not been enough to keep him alive in these fights. And FlyQuest deciding not to try to go for the end, instead want a triple inhib before going for any potential ending, perhaps taking what they believe is the safer and perhaps more guaranteed win. They go for triple inhib, and they pull back for Baron, yeah, because if you do go for the end and lose the fight, then CLG could take the Baron and perhaps turn things around, so they want to play it a bit more safe. I still think there's a pretty high chance that they could have just bullied it down and ended it with 2 tanks in the front line, and how strong Fly and Turtle are, you would knock down those Nexus turrets very quick.
No shockwave means there's really no danger of being dove on, and Darshan TPs to run towards the Drake. They're going to get something back for themselves. It's the first Elder of the game. That little graphic, of course, in the top left, slightly lying to you. So CLG actually getting a pretty meaningful buff.
Almost here, though. This is not guaranteed CLG's by any means. They have the Baron. They are in range for the Smite steal, perhaps, if Onda wants to go for it, but he doesn't have vision.
5,000 health, 2,000. They should be able to land this one, no problem. And do you fight against his Elder buff? They're going to try to send Ryze in the back line, but CLG cutting to the top. Command distance gives them some move speed to kite away. They should get out of this one. And CLG, I think, make the best play they could have rushing the Elder Dragon. Yeah,
well played from them. They're going to get a little bit more combat power there, but now you can kind of just, as FlyQuest, you base, you spend your gold, and then you push in 3 waves of supers with Baron, you walk the minions in, make CLG try to just fight against those Baron minions, and it can be exceptionally hard to actually hold your ground in those situations. But here it is one more time. The Flash W reactively ulted out of by Turtle, so beautiful start from him there, and then watch Stixxay on the side. Does get just absolutely destroyed by the Stone Plate Feast there from Flame, and that is some of the advantage that a fed Cho'Gath can give you. If you get low at all, you get deleted. I mean, that's a 10 stacks Stone Plate Feast. That is an enormous amount of damage.
That is pain incarnate. True terror from the Void here in this one. CLG hoping to lick their wounds and somehow survive and get their tanks to scale up to that beastliness that is Flame right there. He's basically a wildfire. See, his bot lane is now pushing, and you mentioned maybe a bit of a 1-3-1 or 0-2-3 right now as the lane assignments, as the Zack's coming over. Onda going to help push this last inhibitor down. The Baron buff is on.
Fly in the mid lane, shoving in those side lanes, wants to make people respond and wants to keep those Baron buffed up to try to make it more difficult to respond. But CLG does have a ton of actual combat power right now with the Elder active. They do have a lot of true damage coming out, so it's kind of this push and pull.
Yeah. Back and forth they go. Fly Infinite Man, of course, at this point. Death Cap done. He's got plenty of AP, but similar for Huhi's Orianna, these shockwaves can absolutely threaten the 0 MR built WildTurtle. He's got to react with his reflexes. He's got to ult and immune that CC because he can get popped even through the Bloodthirster.
And in that last fight, he did a good job. But honestly, maybe for CLG, they need to just be focusing more on protecting Stixxay instead of finding that perfect dive, because the last couple fights, they have not been able to do that. They do have a good comp built around him to keep him safe, but haven't been able to make it work, and he does do a lot of damage at this point.
They find a stun into Zack, but how easily can you kill that champion? Actually, really good damage. Yeah, down to 500 HP. That was pretty meaningful, and it means that CLG gets some more respite here. The Dragon buff will, I believe, end sooner than Baron will, so this will be a slight power play there. Elder Dragon buff just now turning off, it looks like.
That was Turtle's ultimate as well. Actually used it to dodge a binding, I do believe, so that is Xayah without the ulti. That is certainly a much more vulnerable target now that you could look to engage upon. if they want to go forward for this, because they are still kind of being bled out a little bit. You can see Fly pushing in those side minions, trying to threaten the Nexus turrets, and now they're going in.
Black Shield on in time, though. Can they kill off Stixxay? The answer is no. He kites back, and now looking for Anda, who flashes over the wall, but not actually over. He just flashes away, and that will be Bloblets once again, so they can get that first pick.
Turtle
Fly, low on health. Stixxay's gonna get the snipe. They'll find 2 kills, and it's again a 5v3. Counterlogic Gaming looking for this one. The flash forward, Darshan gets set up as ReignOver also comes in. Let's see what they can run down as ReignOver down to 1,000 HP. As silence comes through for Flame. Can Darshan buy enough time? Next crowd comes up.
There's no way Flame can get away from that. You just get locked down by the
Turtle's going for the base. Turtle's going for the base as Stixxay is going to be defending it. It's going to be hard killing Flame, by the way. It's no AD carry on that one. Turtle now going to be flanked. He could maybe lose his life, but they don't want to go for that play either. Won't gain anything. The minions will be falling down.
Turtle actually saved his life there by kind of running off and threatening the base, and it meant CLG had to pull off, because while they could have definitely run down Flame, it would take too long to kill him. As you pointed out, he's very, very tanky. Here is the initial play again. Great Black Shield this time onto Stixxay. Being able to block a lot of the CC coming out onto him. You keep him safe. Anda not able to get that flash over to the wall, and Fly was very low. Flash, crit. That ultimate bursts him down. That is a full build Caitlyn who had the Elder Dragon, and despite the fact that another inhibitor has respawned, CLG still is on the back foot, but they have the ability to win these fights, and FlyQuest isn't really closing out in the way that you would expect with all inhibitors down with a Baron buff. You were expecting the game to end, and they have not been able to kind of properly engage or properly step forward and actually knock down these objectives, and it's starting to bite them back a little bit.
Inhibitors alive, full build Stixxay, Hurricane in. So 100% crit chance, and he can hit the entire front line. It is triple melee after all.
And Turtle is electing to not build a Last Whisper at all in his build, which, to me is somewhat questionable. There's not a tremendous amount of armor on the other team, so he's going for pure crit, and he is going to have a lot more survivability with that Bloodthirster, as you pointed out. Very heavy lifesteal. He's going to be at 100% crit, and if he can actually get forward at all onto Stixxay or Huhi, he will burst them down incredibly fast, but ReignOver and Darshan are going to be more difficult to actually deal with as a result.
Yeah, I would have liked personally Blade of the Ruin King plus Hurricane as the last two items of WildTurtle. Drop the Shiv, go Hurricane instead, Ruin King, start pushing through front line because you're getting several melees as well. But again, choosing single target damage, spell damage, and that health shield can matter. We'll see if it comes through on this as the mid lane siege will begin soon enough.
And
Baron 1.5.
Stixxay does have his Hurricane now. He actually sold his boots, bought a Hurricane, so he's on triple Zeal. He has some safety from the Mercurial, and he has a very good build to actually kill off those tanks with the Lord Dominix, with the full crit. We're going to have to see if he's going to be able to kind of carry this through. You see the difference in that last team fight versus the previous couple, where he was able to be kept alive with the initial Black Shield, and the crowd control is given that safety, and certainly able to punch through the tanks when he has that time.
Build's finishing up pretty soon. One slot, half a slot, I guess I could say, for both Fly and Huhi. Still a full item to go for Darshan on the top side. And here comes the engage. They find the stun on a flame, gets away from that one really quickly, and now the re-engage might mean a little bit more as a big root comes in. The stone plate is on, but ReignOver down about half HP. There's the charm, the knock comes through, but it's Black shielded, and now to the back line, looking for Stixxay. The chomp comes in, Stixxay is alive, though he gets away with it. And now the re-engage comes in, he's got 3 hitting onto the front line, ReignOver over the wall, will fall the WildTurtle. Fly gets popped in the back line, gets his wings clipped right off. And now it's Stunt running away, finds himself a heal, gets sniped down for a bit more HP.
Turtle's gonna get caught, he has no ult.
Darshan gets slowed down, but the blue smite on to keep Turtle alive, and Turtle cutting to the side, wants to save his team, gets some more move speed thanks to his actual fleet footwork rune used, and he will get away from this one. So ReignOver's dead, but so is Fly. Missing a jungler means no Baron on the table for CLG, but missing a carry is bad for FlyQuest.
And CLG is one of those teams that's willing to go for the throat. They may be willing to go for a riskier push here. They have the Caitlyn. They could theoretically continue to siege. They are going to pull back and move over towards the Baron, though, and you saw Stixxay so close to almost going down. But Anda, it looks like he missed literally everything there. He jumps in, not able to hit Stixxay, misses the Q, not able to hit him with that, not able to pull him in. So Stixxay barely able to survive, and because that CC didn't land, Fly trying to flank around just gets burst down.
Okay. Makes it look like they're doing Baron. By the way, nice job. Flame walked top to banner a mini, then walked right back, I do believe. So that could be the inhibitor going down. It's close, but ReignOver will probably have the damage. He's tanking the aggro, looks like. So that's going to be staying alive there.
But they're under the Baron, and this is a beast available, and Cho'Gath will look to secure this, but CLG trying to fight right now.
Well, that's going to be picked up. Now, will the re-engage look any good? As Sejuani is far away. Unstoppable, over the wall he goes. Nice Baron sneak, but Elder's up in 25 seconds. This is probably enough time, though, that FlyQuest can contest it.
With the Baron recall, they can reset, they can get back out there. Minions still pushing on the top side. Remember, they had to move away from that because they wanted to be in position, and there is still another banner up there. Will get cleared out, but now it's going to be a race over to this buff, and everyone is going to be potted up. Everyone is really at their kind of maximum power here. CLG is first to the scene, though. They get the scuttle. They have vision control, and will they catch out FlyQuest trying to come in through that trap line?
Buff is huge for CLG. Its second Elder. It's a gigantic increase in damage output. Lasts 5 minutes. Let's see if they can make this one happen. The flank coming through, Stunt behind. Who's he going to catch out? As Stixxay kites to the left. Where's the shockwave? The ball on the bottom right side. 5,000 health left on the dragon.
Remember, Feast is available, so Flame could look to steal this. And
they find the root. They find the CC. Go to the damage to the Cho'Gath. But look at the damage on Darshan. He's going to lose his life 1-0. Anda going to kite away, stays alive as well. And how is the backline going to look? Huhi kites away, still has shockwave. But it's a 5v4 missing a tank. WildTurtle goes forward, almost finds himself the kill, but he forces CLG away, and they have to give it up. Nicely fought by FlyQuest. Elder is theirs.
And that was essentially a 4v5. Fly actually contributed literally nothing to that fight, not using a single spell on the enemy, just strafing around on the top side. Seemed to be, not on the same page as the rest of his team as far as positioning, as far as what they were trying to do in that fight. But despite that, the 4-man squad from FlyQuest fight them back, get a kill, take the Elder, are now marching on the base in a 5v4 with 3 exposed inhibitors, looking to again try to end this game.
Big chunk on the flame, but here comes the backline action for Anda. Puts the blue spite in, tries to pull one back. Ulti gonna come across, but not find any damage. Stixxay still black shielded. Means a lot of damage, and Stunt gives himself away. Inhibitor down 4v4, but Darshan's up in 5 seconds, and they're trying to ping a TP where they get the bloblets. 5v3 for Counter Logic Gaming. Roam warp away. Darshan is alive.
Yeah, Anda stepped on a trap walking out there, gets bursted down, gets taken down. And CLG, are still defending their base. They are worried about backdoor, so they're not going to fully commit to the fight, but watch this fight one more time. Fly is on the top side of your screen, will not get involved in the fight at any point, but despite that, Stunt, WildTurtle, look at Flame, so tanky in the front line, throws down the Feast onto Darshan, WildTurtle free firing, and the 4v5 essentially, FlyQuest win it anyway. So close to both sides getting knocked down there. Turtle and Stixxay, those are 2 6-item AD carries, 100% crit apiece, going for it. Look at the engage though. Stunt trying to go in on Stixxay, who already still has the black shield. He throws his life away on that engage, and now it is CLG marching down mid lane.
10 seconds on Anda, 5 on Stunt. They find the front line a little bit. Darshan pops stone plate, looking for damage on a flame. They might be able to kill off the Cho'Gath shockwave to guarantee it, and that's the top laner dead. Biofrost low, but CLG can make the run happen. Looking for the top lane turret. Respawns have come in. It's only Flame who's missing, though. Can they win the 4v5 against Elder plus Baron? The buffs are big. Almost finding Fly. He's healthy enough, though. Shields are on.
That was really close. And
CLG staying.
Yeah, they're going to stay around. It's Baron minions to try to slow this down, but they do have those supers coming in. This is Stixxay who can knock this down very, very quickly.
Got a chance of winning. First turret down to 1/3 HP. Stunt winning around on the wings, and WildTurtle doesn't have the range to poke them back. The minion wave is gone, though. That's FlyQuest's choice.
And look at the side lanes. The bottom wave for FlyQuest is massive, and that is going to be pushing towards the inhibitor. They know they need to get back there and try to defend this. This wave is going to knock down the inhibitor very, very quickly. Darshan also expended his teleport on a minion there to try to keep it alive and allow them to potentially close out the game. They go for it. It did not work out. They should be able to get back in time to defend their inhibitors here as well.
Inhib will live, the base will stay alive. CLG tried their very best. They got an extra kill out of it, and they got 2/3 the health off the top lane, or the upper Nexus turret, if you will. But a good defense out of FlyQuest. They got rid of the minions, the backdoor bonus, too threatening to deal with afterwards. Of course, Shockwave was used to guarantee the Cho'Gath. Could not threaten WildTurtle. There's the damage output so far this game. Yeah, Stixxay is trying his very best to, for the 6th time in a row, hard carry CLG. A lot of times it has worked as a win, but not always.
I mean, they've been on the back foot for a very, very long time. Despite the fantastic start here for Stixxay and Biofrost in the bot lane, they got very far ahead, but it's been a long time since CLG has really had that advantage. Ever since that first Baron play, FlyQuest has really kind of taken the lead, has been in control of that the whole time. But when you get 50 minutes into the game, the next Elder means whichever team gets that second Elder power would be much stronger for CLG because they have the additional Drake, but still, this is exposed bases on really both sides. Like, there's open inhibitor mid lane for FlyQuest, 3 open inhibitors for CLG. One decisive teamfight win can very easily just end the game, lead or not.
Let's see what they can find for themselves, because these are climactic fights now. The inhibitors are open in a lot of these lanes, and you want to fight hard enough, you can back for the Nexus straight up, turrets or not. Flame heading topside alongside WildTurtle. Randuin's Omen done for the two big tanks in the front side. None here for Stunt, though. He is pretty easily killed by this 100% crit Caitlyn. No Randuin's for the CLG frontliners, I think, is maybe a missed opportunity, but...
And my guess is that the last item there will be Randuin's for Darshan and perhaps for ReignOver as well, but they are kind of a bit back in gold in those situations.
Epic fight,
I'm also interested to see Cannon versus Cannon. I'm also interested to see
spells.
Turtle, how if he's actually going to go for a different 6th item, because he has so much gold and has been sitting on 3-4K for a while now, so he could sell his boots and buy anything he wants.
Yeah.
But it's just, do you prioritize the movement speed and the survivability that is going to give you, or do you prioritize the pure damage output that you would get from changing that up for another item? And so far, he has opted to keep that move speed.
Yeah, I don't think fights late game typically become that close of stat checks. It feels like the super late game fights are much more about making the right choice and being in the right place.
Yeah.
And boots certainly help you be in the right place. So I actually can totally defend a late game AD carry sitting on boots. Mages too.
I think especially when you are also the shorter range guy, but they're actually looking for the engage on a Flame here. We'll see if this pays off.
Pop stone plates, that's uncooled. That's a trade for Glacial Prison. Down that all goes.
Plate coming out of ReignOver there too.
Yeah,
so
true.
Definitely the advantageous trade, only slightly so for FlyQuest, but they are looking for that pick, can't find it, and Stunt has collected himself, and he's back with the team.
They're in 15 seconds. So you're trying to push away the mid lane. There's a wave coming in on the top side, though, so we've got to react to that at some point. Darshan does have teleport available. He can get there without too many issues. And TP back.
And FlyQuest is sitting on 2 banners, so they need to be actively using them. They're both off cooldown now. You want to see those getting dropped on side lane cannons, but it's hard to find the opportunities to do so. And CLG is already onto this Baron. The Baron's probably just going to die before FlyQuest can even respond. They're running over there now, but will it be too late?
They've got to respect what the engage could look like, though. Keep in mind, high damage is available. Cho's around, but he's been CC'd out. They can go for the smite and pick it up, and the Baron's going to go over to CLG. Now the re-engage comes across onto the front line. He found someone to pull back in. Onda's pretty low, but so far it's okay for the back lines as 2 kills have come through. Logic Gaming gets a double out of Huhi. The chase down towards Fly. They might get that third. Onda in the backside looking for damage. Cannot get Stixxay. That's Bloblets, and now it's just the depths of all of FlyQuest. 2 of them standing, but CLG all alive. Looking for the mid lane now.
And CLG are going to look to continue this miracle run to try to pull it back, to try to make the playoffs. So far behind in this game for so long, but every time you doubt them, they're able to battle back, and they are going to be able to take this game.
51 minutes in, they were down in gold for so much of it. A very interesting and chaotic early to mid-game 5v2 onto the turrets they go. They're gonna find the kill in the Fly, trade or not for the mid laner. Counter Logic Gaming improved to 6 wins, and their hunt for that playoff spot remains strong as they take down FlyQuest.
Honestly, really impressive amount of resilience there from CLG, stuck in their base for so long. 3 open inhibitors for so long, and multiple inhibitors knocked down at various points throughout that game, but FlyQuest, not able to fully close.
Yeah.
And there are some questions, when they retreated and tried to go for triple inhib and take the Baron, should they have looked to try to close out the game? Should they have had that killer instinct to try to take the risk and just finish the game right there? They try to take what is, perhaps the safer option and back off for the Baron, but they could not use that to close out the game. And definitely some critical mistakes in late game team fights. Not taking into consideration the black shields there on Stixxay, some lives being thrown away there, and even when you think about that bot lane fight, Fly stepping out behind, getting hit by the Maokai root when he's trying to realm warp onto out, gives over 3 kills in what should have been a clean escape. So a lot of little mistakes really seem to cost FlyQuest in closing that one out.
And it's another game of a late game Caitlyn doing 1.5 million damage. Huge out of Stixxay here doing the damage output there. But now for more on that intense game, let's send it over to the analyst desk.
Intense is one way to put it, Phreak. That is definitely one way to put it. But CLG come out on top in a very scrappy game between them and FlyQuest to keep their playoff hopes very much alive.
Technically, yes. Like, what again?
Yes.
3 games in a row now, and it's actually insane to me how many CLG games come down to these really weird and long sequences of events, even when it doesn't feel like it should.
Right, this one definitely didn't feel like it should.
No, I mean, you think they're going to run away with the game, they should be taking everything over, but now they've taken so long to kind of extend their Caitlyn advantage. They're getting ganked in these long lanes, Flames CPing in, they're getting all that looks, they're getting their mid lane attack. This dive, not super clean by FlyQuest, but you see the right idea of how they want to play these engages out.
Yeah, Huhi ends up living a really long time during this game thanks to an early completion of Saracen Grace. Stixxay picks up 2 more kills on the back end, which moves him to 5-1 pre-20 minutes on the Caitlyn after this one. But
I mean, he was 3 kills at like 7.5 minutes.
Well, as much as was going for that, they were always messing up their map position. So Flame had taken more turrets himself early in the game. Later on in the game, they're able to brute force this Baron down. Now Flame is able to secure that one for his team as well. Sketchy, a little scary. And then they win this fight, and this is kind of when the game felt definitively in FlyQuest's favor.
Did it, though?
yeah,
It did.
It felt like it was over.
I felt like it was over. They had,
double inhib, triple inhib in these moments, but every time FlyQuest would be in a position where they could potentially force something like this play. Game-changing, right? You don't interrupt the ultimate on Ryze there with the root. They get out, and then they reset and probably end the game. But they get the shockwave, they get more kills, and this just kept happening where CLG stayed in the game despite what looked like them being out of it. Like, ReignOver tried the ultimate onto Flame many times. It rarely worked out for him, so to speak. But eventually, they're able to pull it through. Like, I don't even remember what happened here.
Man, it is tough to watch people play Zac
they
in
didn't get
team
Stixxay
fights.
in this fight.
After watching Dardoch play Zac in team fights, it is a little tough sometimes. But yeah, this is another one where they didn't actually finish off anyone other than ReignOver, so they win that fight. This is where CLG finally gets their first Baron after, at one point, defending against Baron, Elder, Dragon, Burn.
Yep.
So CLG's base defenses were pretty on point. They never were able to finish off Stixxay, and like we said, with how big he was early in the game, he was at 6 full items, boots sold at like 30-something minutes.
And they finally get the shockwave onto WildTurtle that isn't dodged by the Xayah ultimate. And then it's kind of one true carry in the Caitlyn versus a dead Xayah, because Turtle's damage was really strong considering how the game actually started for him.
Yeah, really strong, 91K.
Nothing in comparison to 91K, though. Oh my goodness. I mean,
it's in a 51-minute game, dude.
Get the rest of the bars off the graph. They don't even need to be there at this point. 91K damage out of Stixxay over 51 minutes. I'll let you do the math while I continue to talk about him. I mean, this is the interesting thing here, Mark, is that so much of their success here on the back half of the split has been off the back, the back end of solid performances from Stixxay, massive kill counts coming through, and high damage output.
Absolutely.
Insane.
Yeah, they played around him this entire game, maybe to a fault, but he stepped up when it really mattered at the end.
All right, well, we are going to take a quick break to stop down, toss it out to Avli for a quick word with our victors.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Stixxay. Congratulations. You're keeping the playoff dream alive for CLG. Such a back-and-forth game. How are you guys finally able to pull off that win?
Just a lot of playing very safe, and honestly, it felt like we just kind of sat at our base for like 30 minutes, and just because we have like a really late-game scaling comp, we were able to win.
Now, there was some carnage early on in the bot lane in this game, and it seems like both you and CLG have made some major improvements over the split. Was there a shift in team mentality or playstyle, or what put the team back on track?
I think patch 8.4 was a pretty big reason for that. I think it just makes a lot of sense to play towards your bottom lane, and we're also really good at doing that, so that's probably why.
Well, speaking to your bottom lane and new changes, it sounds like Biofrost has become the new shot caller of the team. What's it like working with him now as a shot caller?
It's a bit different. When Vincent first came in the team, he was pretty quiet, and he communicated the things that needed to be communicated, but it's a little weird to hear him, commanding people around. But he's doing a really good job, and we're only going to keep improving, so.
Well, like I said, the playoff dream's still alive for CLG. Rough road ahead. You play Echo Fox tomorrow. What are your thoughts going into that?
Did Echo Fox win today?
They did not.
They did not win today. Okay, well, we won today, so I'm just going to say that we're going to win tomorrow, too.
Confidence coming from you. I like that. And for more of the game, back to the desk.
I like it. Confidence out of Stixxay. But let's talk about this. Actually, we'll get to the road ahead in just a moment. Before we do so, I want to talk about CLG and Stixxay in this game.
I think they identify that Stixxay is the big reason that they're winning this game. I think FlyQuest also identified that, so they go for this really aggressive fight down the bot lane. It turns south, and then CLG see an opportunity. Hey, we can snowball our bot lane after this.
And when they get that kill, that benefits Stixxay, because WildTurtle isn't getting CS. And then ReignOver also puts his first gank bottom, which is very rare as a red side jungler, catches him off guard. That's the second kill.
But what they ended up doing is they actually never recall. This is with Doran Shield still. Third kill, third gank down the bot lane. And it was a little bit over-indexing on the bot lane. Stixxay had a great game, as you see.
That DPM.
That's the highest in NALCS history, I just believe, heard. So that's a pretty impressive number.
That's really a large damage per minute. A lot of it does have to do with hitting the stone plate Cho'Gath, but this is a mixed game, mixed bag of a game.
Right.
Because the bottom lane dominated, he carried late game, but the way they didn't actually snowball his advantage. He got the advantage, but the map never turned in their favor. And it was actually FlyQuest who ended up getting the map advantage through top lane with the Cho'Gath, who didn't get any help. Means the first gank was good, right? But the recall timing, as Mark said, was not good.
Yeah, you easily could have taken a BF sword as your first back early on against a long sword, came back into the lane, and just taken that 2v2 while your jungler influences the rest of the map. They had like 5-man plays around the bot lane. They're continuing to gank this like massive advantage when it's like you should just take that and run with it.
Right. I mean, yeah, definitely would have liked to have seen them push that advantage a little bit more. That said, they do pick up the victory, and so that's where I want to kind of look at the road ahead of them if they are to make it to the playoffs. It is technically possible, as Jat has said, but looking at the standings, there's still, you know, a full game back with a game and a half technically with TSM yet to play today.
Yeah, I mean, last week we said the most counter-logic thing to do would be to lose to FlyQuest.
They almost did.
Clearly that didn't happen, Dash.
And then clearly.
So, what actually needs to happen for them to catch TSM? They actually only need to go 3-1, or they need to win 2 more of their next 3 games if TSM only wins 1 of their games. And the final game of the season is against TSM. So CLG doesn't have to beat Echo Fox tomorrow if they win the next 2 games they have, as long as TSM loses today and some of their other games. Plus, there's still a world where they can catch Liquid if Liquid tanks down the
So to simplify Jat's little thing, TSM plays Liquid and Cloud9, 2 very conceivable losses, and then it is actually in CLG's hands if they can
beat them in the final game.
If they beat them in the final game of the split.
It's not going to happen, man. Like, technically, it
I
could.
know why you're saying that.
Gaming
you're saying that just so it does happen, and then you don't look so foolish for your preseason rankings.
It's not going to happen.
It would be the most counter-logic thing ever to win the last game of their season against TSM, to knock them out of playoffs and take their spot.
They look so shaky in this
also,
game.
But it's not unreasonable that they beat Fox tomorrow, given that they are choosing to play through the bot lane, and that's where Echo Fox has been struggling.
And they beat Fox before.
That's true. And they beat Fox before. We forget that they handed Echo Fox their first loss. Anyway, up next, Optic Gaming hope to take down Cloud9 in Game 3. Don't go anywhere.